certainly not dissatisfied middle-aged lumps who can afford to piss away money on wellness. I grew up in a middle-class home in Queens in the 70s and 80s. Wellness was what you were when you weren't sick. It was the baseline. Most of the time, that's what you were. Now it is something we aspire to, like the peak of Everest, a place where the very rich pay a fortune to go to in order to feel something and then die. So the day my husband, Brad, asks me if I'd like to go on a wellness retreat at a spa town just outside of Rome, I surprise myself when my instant response is, fuck yes. To be fair, it's Italy. Who would say no to that? But here's where the really perverse part comes in. This will be an alcohol and caffeine-free, plant-based, gluten-free trip. So all the things that one wants to go to Italy to enjoy, such as a bowl of pasta bolognese with a glass of Chianti and espresso afterward, are off limits. It's like taking someone to Waikiki Beach and letting them enjoy it from inside a shipping container. What kind of sick mind concocts a trip to an Italian hill town in the middle of summer to chow down on chickpea frittatas and dandelion tea? The other things one would want to do in Italy, shop, eat gelato, and swim in the Mediterranean, will be replaced by a daily schedule comprised of 4 hours of hiking, 3 fitness classes, and a massage. The one slightly pleasurable activity is 50 minutes long, the length of a good cry. I'll take any excuse, though, for a trip halfway around the world. To get me to go to a restaurant in downtown LA is all but impossible. The traffic, the parking, no thank you. How good can chicken be? But an 18-hour travel day for a bowl of pasta I saw Anthony eating on Instagram, and I'm in. I mean, if I'm going to leave the house, I might as well go someplace good. 1 hour, 20, it's all the same once you've closed the front door. Besides, I have a plan. The wellness retreat Brad and I are to partake in will last 1 week and will mostly involve, from what I can glean from their website, pain and starvation. Therefore, we will arrive in Rome 3 days early to eat, lie around, and eat some more. 3 days of saying to each other, "Do you think you can eat again yet?" before heading out to our next plate of cured meats and cheese, falling asleep as our last bites of gelato drip from our mouths and onto our pillows. After that, a week of root vegetables and seeds might not be all that bad. I research restaurants beforehand as if I'm studying for the bar exam. It's exhausting, time-consuming work that includes, but is not limited to, TripAdvisor, Yelp, Eater, Condé Nast Traveler, Bon Appetit, several hotel concierges, friends, and finally, my own instincts. Every restaurant is cross-referenced at least a dozen times. Normally, there is room for error, but on this trip, I cannot afford to broker any unwanted surprises. Each meal is precious. Brad has no idea how many hours I spend on my research. It took less time to write this book. I make it sound casual, though. "Hey, check out this place," I say, passing my phone to him. "Looks good, right?" As I show him the menu of a restaurant I've already spent 6 hours vetting. I make it seem as if he has a choice in the decision-making when the final picks are carved into my brain like the 10 Commandments. I'm sure I have some sort of obsessive personality disorder that can be easily diagnosed. Perhaps they can look into it in Italy during one of my 4-hour hikes, but I am always happier not knowing. I prefer to think of it as a quirk instead of a diagnosable illness that should be medicated. I always marvel at the people who can go on vacation and just walk into any restaurant off the street saying, "This looks good." It's not good, by the way. You went to the wrong place. How does that not kill you? Early on in our 22-year relationship, Brad learned how to tell when we were going to have to extract ourselves from a restaurant. "Is this okay?" he'd ask tentatively as he slowly lowered his coat from his shoulders. Yeah, it's fine. It's great." But he could read my face like tea leaves and knew that he should start putting on his coat again and that we would be leaving. One of my proudest accomplishments is knowing that over time, I have made Brad exactly like myself. You can't